Okay, so Dave Chappelle, he's got a new Netflix special. What's the name of
The
it?
Dreamer.
The Dreamer. Okay, bro. Let's get into this. So did you like it?
I loved it,
Bro,
man.
okay, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Chappelle's
okay.
the GOAT.
Okay, it's right. You're
He is
dick riding. I'm
He's the
sorry,
GOAT.
man. Okay. Hold up. Okay, 0 to 10.
Yeah.
5 is pass, right?
Yeah.
Which means pass is a good mark.
Yeah.
Obviously, 9 and 10 is like amazing.
Excellent,
like
yeah.
Based on like the past couple of
Yeah.
specials, where does this rate
8.
to?
It's an 8.
So you rate this high?
I rate this as an 8. It's good. Like it's actually like it felt like he was his previous specials. Like it felt like he was going too all out. This one felt like
What do you mean when you say all out?
I don't know. This one felt more, and this is I don't know if it was because because of where he was filming this in the place where he filmed "Killing Me Softly."
Yes.
It felt more like that. It felt like that Chappelle. It was a bit different.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. It was a bit more back to that sort of Chappelle. And yeah, it was funny, man. Like I love the way he narrates stories. I love the way he does callbacks. Like it was good. It was solid. It was a solid one.
Okay, then
it's not the greatest one ever, but like it was solid.
Okay. So you rated it like as funny, not laughing on your desk funny, but it's funny.
Yeah, funny. Yeah.
Okay. So Jesus. All right. I didn't find it funny,
my
man.
God.
I didn't find it. Okay. Here's the thing, right? So we love the Chappelle show.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking funny, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm trying to rationalize is Chappelle, like all comedians, you have to grow, right?
Yeah.
So he has evolved, and you know what he is now more than a comedian. He is like a fucking A-grade storyteller, like
Yes.
exceptional.
And that's
like,
why like his show was great, right? Because he
internet-
knew how
like,
to tell stories.
Internet, like really nuanced, very can get hyper political and go there, right? So somewhere along the line, you like especially the last 4, let's just call it, it's more political. Like Chappelle's show was like a point in time, right? And the
Yeah.
thing is, that's the Chappelle that a lot of people grew up on, right?
Yeah.
So that's the Chappelle that I like, right? There was a Chappelle before the Chappelle show. You remember that one? That was very crude, right? Like Chappelle's show is still quite crude, right? And then he is still crude. And that's the thing about
That's what
Chappelle.
Killing Me Softly was. That he was very crude.
Yeah, right? Yes, I love that. But what I mean is, like, depending on what age we were like kids, right? So, like, that shit's funny, right?
Yeah.
When you're a kid. But then you look now and you're like, it's all right. I get it. It's still funny. Cross humor is funny. But, like, I just did not find it funny, man. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I got the jokes. There were some bits that were funny. And then the other thing is, like, I remember the one before that. I really liked that one.
Yes.
I really liked that one, right?
Yeah.
And there was a time during the George Floyd riots where it wasn't a special.
He did something,
on YouTube, and it wasn't funny at all, right?
'cause it was a serious-
it was like it wasn't funny at all, but like it was so compelling. It was like poetry, right? And then he had comedic elements in it, but it was like activist, right? So somewhere along the line, you have this Dave Chappelle there. So I'm trying to rationalize in my head now, like genuinely, in the next day, like Dave Chappelle comedy special, what am I getting? Because am I getting comedy or am I getting, because it's fun, like,
or is it this that maybe he's done too many of these specials, right?
Yeah.
You see comedians with specials on Netflix.
yeah,
He's signed a massive deal with Netflix.
yeah.
To do these specials, but there's like 7 of them, isn't there? Or 6 or 7 of them. Like, is it kind of like maybe we want him to do like an actual show now?
But okay, so that's what I mean. Like, dude, I'm in the minority. I went out and looked at almost every reaction on the internet.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it. Yeah. So either I've like had a paper bag on me. Trish loved it. She thought it was coherent, and I'm like, I think this was his most disjointed thing that I watched. So I'm like, I don't know. No, like
it all tied back to that theme of him being a dreamer.
I get it.
In Hollywood, right?
I get it.
In a place that's so disgusting, and also like the way that they treat people.
Yeah,
he's someone who has dreams.
Yeah,
about telling stories about people. About that's his dream, to be up there on the stage, and he did it. So I mean, he tied that pretty well.
He did at the end. The last preamble was pretty good. Not his strongest preamble that I've seen, but I don't know, man. Like, and this is what I'm saying about the whole Joy Coy thing.
Yeah.
I generally think, and then when I see the comments of anyone saying something a little bit off on Dave Chappelle, you get lambasted. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get smacked down the comments here. And this is my...
Mainly by me. I'll be in that comment section.
But this is my main point. Like, when you are at such a level sometimes, when you just have like bro, we talked about that.
Well, the thing, I just find that guy funny. Like, whatever he does.
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that as an independent piece of work, you can critique something and say, bro, that just wasn't that funny. Yeah. Like, I didn't find the Chris Rock special that funny at all.
Chris Rock,
people did, but that was like a lot. When you go on the internet, it was a bit more 50-50. Yeah. A lot of people just love this, and that's why I think Dave Chappelle.
I love the Chris Rock part in the Dave Chappelle.
That was good. That was
even the Jim Carrey stuff he was talking about. That's a bit controversial, but that was good. That was funny.
But that's what I mean. Like when you say, "Oh shit, Dave Chappelle, it's on. We got to watch this," right? You have such high expectations that But you're right. You know what? I think there's a part of me as like that wants that old school Chappelle. Like, I want
raw. Right? Like, are we sort of too much? Has there been too many stand-up specials? I think for him, he's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
I think he needs to do something like Chappelle Show. It doesn't have to be 100% that. It could be a Netflix series of him starting in Hollywood.
Yeah,
that would be interesting to tell, right? I would even, because there's a lot of drama that happens behind the scenes. You could do something more than just a comedy. You could do a dramedy about a biopic about him and his experiences in Hollywood, because he talks about it, right?
Correct.
He talks about how, like, Hollywood all of a sudden can turn on you and paint you as a crazy person.
Yeah.
Which they did, right? Remember back in the day when he rejected $50 million. But what anyone failed to tell about that was that the reason he rejected that was because that was actually 10% of what he made Comedy Central. $500 million, by the way.
Yeah.
He made Comedy Central $500 million, and then they were only willing to give him 10%.
Yeah.
So that part was left out during that narrative when he was being made that he was crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember that vividly when he just sort of stopped. He was like, I don't want to accept this. And then everyone was calling him crazy. They went to Africa and they thought he was on drugs and all sort of stuff. It's crazy, right? The narrative, the media narrative that these powerful Hollywood elites can sort of stir up. And
you control the media. You control.
To me, that's more fascinating if you were to do a series of something like that. Like, he's a comedian trying to make it in Hollywood, and there's all these things going on.
He could,
because his dad dies as well. When he was very young as well.
Yeah. No, he definitely could. Okay, see, but the thing is, I want denigrate levels lower than that. To be honest. I think that we're in the phase.
Chappelle, he doesn't go back. Right? He doesn't go back. He'll go forward.
Yeah, but that's my okay. Right?
He won't do something more than Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Everyone's been saying, man. I'm sure has been.
We like Chappelle Show because of the pace and the diversity of the skits, right?
And how far he could go with like
characters, right?
With his characters and the material that like he just didn't give a shit. Yeah, that's what I liked most about Chappelle is that he didn't really give a shit, and he still doesn't give a shit about what anyone says. He has the backing of Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix, was under huge scrutiny to drop him after all the jokes that he made about the LGBT, whatever. Like, he made a lot of jokes about them, and there was a lot of protests. There was a lot of anger, but Netflix has backed him, and that's very rare to see in a company that they just sort of like, no, we're going to back him. And I'm pretty sure there's some financial and data behind it, right?
Oh, for sure.
They're not just backing him because, like, they're backing him because he's one of the greatest. But like,
one of the goats.
He's like,
if you have Chappelle in your arsenal, that alone is brand equity.
Yeah, but like, I think I get what you're saying. Content wise, I think we need to change up a bit.
I just think that
the
overall,
stand-up special is a bit.
A lot of the comment, like, I think they just it's too political. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the scene. That's the comedy scene.
But why does it have to? Well, the guy has range, right? He can go full degenerate to full like intellectual, right? So right now he's straddling between both of those lines and having to comment. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying sometimes when I watch it, like maybe it was the day that I watched it, I want to laugh. Like I want to like laugh out loud, and some of these are just too grapply topics to do so, right? And I kind of yearn for that old Chappelle, and I thought that again, because we know what he's done in that particular spot, it would maybe do like a memory sort of lane. And there's not too much of that. That sort of stuff is empty calories, and that's why I think the Chappelle Show was like a moment in time.
It really was.
Where and I don't you're right. I don't think the guy can go back to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I was expecting. I just generally didn't find it very funny.
Well, that's
but it's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. Like, it was funny. I'm just saying it's not.